Hey everyone, it's Neil Patel and welcome to another day of Local SEO Unlocked. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. Today we're going to be breaking down on and off page SEO. If you missed any of the previous lessons, we've already had 4 other videos. You can check them out at neilpatel.com/training and click on Local SEO Unlocked, where you'll not only find the lessons, but you'll find the worksheets, the templates, the PDFs, the cheat sheets that all go along with each lesson, so that way you can get results faster and with less work. So why wouldn't you download these templates? In this lesson, we'll discuss the art of optimizing your local SEO. And when we're discussing local SEO, I want you to first start off by thinking about New York versus New Jersey. Just for a moment, think about New York versus New Jersey. All right, you got that in your head? Well, I'm going to go over that in a little bit, and you have a few extra seconds to think about it. But the overall reason why I brought that up is when you're doing keyword research, you have to do it for every single county, region that you focus on. You need to also adapt your website to that local audience. Now, when you think about New York versus New Jersey, they're quite a bit different. One's more urban, one has suburbs, one's busy, one's calmer, one has a much more wealthier population, one has maybe more average income, one has no sales tax, one may have a really high cost of living and city income tax. All these things need to be kept in mind when you're doing your local research because your customer is quite a bit different and their needs are quite a bit different. So how do you rank well in local search? Well, it comes down to 3 things: proximity, relevance, and prominence. How close is your business to the searcher? How relevant is a search query to the products and services you have to sell? And what do other customers say about your product and services, and what do they genuinely think? A lot that you can do to really rank locally is to have tons of location-based pages. Tiffany & Co. does a great example of this, or more so a great job of this. They sell jewelry. They have local pages for all their retailers or all their locations. And by doing this, they're ranking really, really well locally, and it causes them to get more business over time. With localization, it's also important to localize your content. Take the time to understand the culture of the city, the state, and that's why I mentioned New York versus New Jersey. Feature any local pages if you can, especially your most popular locations, and go really in-depth on each page, and don't just say, hey, here's your location, here's your name and address. Show pictures, videos, talk about what you offer, your products, your inventory. The more detail you get, the better off you're going to be with your local rankings. I also want you to create content based on local news, stories, and events that's relevant to your industry. There's always something local that's happening, and by creating content around this, it's going to also help you rank higher locally. Now, when I say this, the caveat is don't create content for the sake of creating content. It needs to be related to your business and help your ideal customer. If it doesn't, then you're wasting your time. I want you to break your main category down into different topics. For example, if it's cats, it would be cat education, cats in New York City, cat cocktails, cat food, old cats, young cats, gray-haired cats, cat food, cats having babies, all this kind of stuff. So the more detailed you get, the better you're going to rank, because it shows Google that you're an expert and you have the authority in the space because you're breaking down each of the topics that are really important to people. Now, some of the cat topics I just came up with may not make sense because I don't have a cat and I don't know much about them, but you get the point. Once you have your content and you've broken it all down and you're trying to optimize your site, one easy way to get better rankings and more business locally is to submit to all the local directories out there, from Yahoo Local to local.com. The list goes on, and I'm not going to bore you with the list because I have the list for you in a nice PDF that you can just download at neilpatel.com/training and head to Local SEO Unlocked. And you'll find it under week 2, and it's the second video under week 2 where you'll find all the list of directories. Just download the PDF and you'll be good to go and submit your sites in them. I also want you to make your URLs very readable. Don't put numbers in your URLs. Try to have your URLs with words. People don't really search for numbers. They search for words. That's why keywords are very important, and that's why we discussed that in the previous lesson. When you put your URLs in, or the keywords in your URLs, you'll find that you'll get more clicks and you'll rank higher. One thing to do is, once you have your keywords in your URLs, add internal links. So if you have a page on cat food and you have another page on dog food, and you'd be like, hey, if you also have a cat and you're looking for cat food, go here. You can link either the go here word or phrase or the cat food phrase to that page on cat food. And that helps your internal pages rank better because it passes juice between your pages. Google can see that, hey, you think all these pages are important and high quality because you're linking to them, so we're going to rank them higher. And when you use internal links, make sure it's natural. Don't just focus on the keyword. Like when I said, if you're looking for cat food, go here. The link text could say cat food, or it could say go here, or it could say if you're looking for cat food, go here, and you can make the whole thing a link. But just do whatever is natural. You don't always need the keyword to be the link. Typically, when you're writing content and you're linking out internally, you should have a handful of internal links on each page, as long as your pages are long and detailed. If they're not, maybe you have 1 or 2. If they're really long, you may have 3 or 4. Another type of links is external links, and this is what builds trust. External links is other websites linking to your website. And the more links you have, the better it is. External links are like votes in an election or a political debate. The more votes someone has, the more likely they are to win. On the internet, Google looks at SEO and rankings based on links. The more links someone has, the higher they're going to rank because all those links is another website vouching for your website. So when you're trying to go out there, how do you build these links? Well, you build these links by just outreaching. Go to networking events in your community, look to see who links your competition. You can do that by going to ubersuggest.com, putting your competitor URL in there. And once that loads up, click on the backlinks report on the left-hand navigation. It's at the very bottom. That'll show you who's linking to your competition, and you can reach out to all those sites and see if they're willing to link to you as well. In addition to that, make sure your website is encrypted and secure. There's a lot of security issues going around these days. By having HTTPS security, you're much more likely to rank better in the long run. And even if your site's secure, another thing you need to do is make sure your site loads fast. In the Ubersuggest report, you can also click on the site audit report in the left-hand navigation. It'll tell you how fast your website loads, and if it loads slow, it'll tell you what you need to do to fix it. So then you're going to be off into the races, have a blazing fast website, because that will help with your rankings as well. Then there's schema markup. There's a lot to do with structured data, which helps you rank higher. And I won't bore you to details with schema markup, because we have worksheets and there's a lot of tools, which is even better than the worksheets, that help you add schema markup to your website. If you use Google Structured Data Markup Helper, you can just Google for it, put in your URL, and you can select where you want the schema markup. Like, are you event-based business, movie-based business, articles? What are the pages you want to add schema to? It shows you your website. You just select the elements on there that you want to mark up like this, and you just select what you want to do, like for name or address or anything like that. Gives you code, you copy and paste it, pop it on your website. You can use a W3C markup validation to make sure you're not doing anything wrong there. Check all of that to make sure it's clean. And then, of course, the other thing that you'll want to do is go to Google Search Console, submit your sitemap so that way Google can index your website correctly, and that'll help you with your rankings as well. If you don't want certain pages indexed, you can use a robots.txt file. You probably don't need this, but I just want to mention this just in case you want to block Google and people from seeing certain pages on your website. And with your website, you want to just make sure you have a good structure. You're doing the internal linkings. You're having multiple layers deep. You're going really in-depth on categories, because that'll help you rank higher in the long run. And if you're not noticing that your rankings are going up over time, if you give it 3 to 6 months, just, of course, go to Search Console, make sure you don't have any penalties, look for any manual actions. And if there's no issues detected, you're fine. Build some links, give it some more time, and you should do better over time. Then there's also voice search. There's tools out there like Jetson AI that help it make your website compatible for voice search. If you also use schema markup, and that's what I brought that up, because that can also help with voice search as well. And it's all about micro moments. You want to answer specific questions that people will have. And according to OC&C, over the next few years, over $40 billion, roughly, I could be a little bit off, but I know it's well into the billions like that. It's roughly 40 billion from the last time I looked at the numbers, either 20-something billion or 40-something billion. Either way, it's a large number of purchases that are going to happen per year through voice search. And if you're trying to find more keywords to go after through voice search, you can type in keywords into Ubersuggest, and it'll help you find those micro moments. It'll give you ideas of what's working and what's not. So last step for you, go to neilpatel.com/training, click on local SEO unlocked. I want you to go to week 2. This is the second video lesson, and download all the worksheets, including all the resources, the tool list that we have for you. If you enjoyed this video, you liked it, share it, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about it. Of course, like the video. And if you just want us to do all your local SEO for you, check out my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. Thank you for your time.